New school year, new you with Evernote. That's what we're talking about today. Hi, this is Frank Buck, and this is the place to be if you want to get organized, make it look easy. So, you want this college year to be a great one, and you're looking for ideas for how to make it so, right? That's probably what brought you here. Well, of course, tip number one would be to show up for class. But right behind that would be having a good set of notes when you leave that lecture hall. That's the bridge between what happens in class and what's going to happen on the test. Well, let's see if we can use Evernote to make that easier. For decades, if there were 100 students in that lecture hall, then there were 100 people, each trying to trap the material the professor's presenting, all in their own pencil and paper notebooks. But what if two people could work together and do it digitally? Suppose you and a friend are taking the same class. Instead of you both maintaining your own notebooks, let's look at what life could be like. You both have an Evernote account. One of you creates a notebook for the course. Right click on the title and share that notebook with your friend. Give your friend rights to edit. Before that first lecture begins, create a new note. Everything related to that lecture session is going to go in that one note. And since the notebook is shared, the new note is visible to both people. As one person enters information, it shows up for the other person and it shows up instantly. This is what is known as real-time editing. And I have a video for you on that concept. I'm going to put that link in the show notes. If you miss something, hopefully your friend gets it. And if you like, you and your friend could tag team. You take notes for a while while your friend listens and then swap up. And if the lecture includes lots of visuals, as one person takes notes, the other person can pull out their phone and snap a picture. You can then insert that image into the Evernote note. Is there a Google slide presentation that the professor's making available? Well, no reason for you both to handle it. One of you pastes the link into the note and you're both good. Is the deck in PowerPoint? Well, one of you downloads that PowerPoint presentation and just drags it into the body of the note. You can open it, you can edit it, you can save it, all right there in that Evernote note. Are you given a PDF? Drag it into the body of the note, and you can view that PDF as a full page. No need to double click to open it each time. And you can just scroll from page to page if that PDF is multi-page. Realize that the only caveat is that you're going to need an internet connection in order for the information to sync back and forth. Also realize that what I'm talking about doing is with two people. You could do it with more people if you wanted to. You get a bunch of people in there, and it could be hard when we're all taking notes at once, but two or three people, very manageable. Another benefit is if one person has to miss class, getting the notes is a breeze. No more taking a paper notebook to a copying machine or emailing notes back and forth. If you've shared the notebook, then the other person automatically has those notes. The most important part, though, comes later in the day. Think of the notes that you take as a draft. Your success on the test is going to rest heavily on your ability to clean up those notes and do it the same day as the lecture. If something in the lecture wasn't clear, look it up in the text. Do a Google search or ask ChatGPT a question. Realize the two of you can put your heads together. Cleaning up one person's notes automatically cleans up the other person's notes. Here's why doing it the same day is so important. Most forgetting happens within the first day. So by interacting with those lecture notes later in the same day, you're doing two important things. First, you're moving more of the material into long-term memory. And when it's time to study for the test, you won't have to spend as much time studying. And secondly, you have better notes, and that's going to make your studying more efficient. Do you like to use flashcards when you study? Well, Evernote has a neat feature called collapsible headers. And here's how it's going to help you make those flashcards. Key in or copy and paste the question. Hit enter to create a new paragraph and key in or paste the answer. Hit another enter and do the next question, the next answer, just a paragraph return or hitting enter between each question and each answer throughout. All right, so next we're going to click on that first question and we're going to turn it into a header. Evernote allows for 3 header sizes. Click anywhere in the question, go up to the top of the note and click the heading level menu and choose a header size. Small header is going to be just fine. Evernote also has a neat set of slash commands. As a keyboard shortcut, hit the /. That's the one that occupies the same key as the question mark, followed by H3. So /H3 turns the whole thing into a small header. Continue turning each question into a small header. Leave the answers alone. And now the fun begins. Click on the 3 dots in the upper right corner of the note. Choose collapsible sections and choose collapse all. Your answers are now hidden. You see only the questions. Now you can quiz yourself or your friend. To display the answer, click the little arrow point to the left of the question. That header now expands and you see the answer. Evernote continues to innovate. The latest innovations rolling out right now as I'm creating this video. We've always had the ability to make an audio recording of a lecture. Decades ago, students could take a cassette tape recorder to class. And in recent times, we've all have voice recorders on our mobile devices. While that does give you a way to review the lecture, well, it takes an hour to re-listen to an hour of lecture, so that's not very efficient. But what if you could record that lesson on your phone and have it transcribe the voice to text? You could then edit the text. Well, options for doing that are already available. Otter AI is a prime example, and I've got a link that gives you a little demonstration video in the show notes. As I'm making this recording, Evernote is rolling out something similar. Now, in Evernote, we've always had the ability to take a voice recording within a note. I've been using Evernote since around 2012, and that capability was there way back then. But what's new is that Evernote is using AI to transcribe the audio to text. So now you can copy and paste parts of the text, bold or highlight parts, and just manipulate the text however you want so that you have a good set of notes. And the Evernote AI edit feature also gives you the ability to highlight any section of the notes and get a summary. On that AI edit menu, you also have options to translate the language. So if your native language differs from the language the professor's speaking, you can record it and then translate that transcription into another language. Since the audio transcription feature is new, I'm not sure exactly what the limits are as far as the length of the audio that you can transcribe. For a full lecture, you might need to record half and then start a new recording. So now let's talk about the overall organization of your college experience in Evernote. I would start by creating a notebook for each class, titled The Notebook with the name of the class. To keep these notebooks together, create what's called a stack in Evernote and name that stack with the name of the semester. Fall 2024, for example. Move all of your notebooks for those various classes into that stack so that they're there together. And now decide who you'll share each of those notebooks with. You'll need their email addresses, so be sure you know what address those people use to create their Evernote accounts. The shared notebooks will show up in their notebook list. Each person would have to create their own stack, and move the appropriate notebooks to that stack. Does the professor have a page on the university's website? And does that page contain things like the professor's email address, phone number, the location of his or her office, and perhaps office hours? Those would be great things to have in Evernote. So use the web clipper. And with a couple of clicks, you've put that information into Evernote. It's created a new note for you in that notebook with all that information for the professor. Are you given a syllabus? Okay, there's another note for that notebook. And when the next semester begins, create a notebook for each of those courses and put them in a stack for the new semester. So now let's talk about money. If your main priority is to have free software, Evernote's not your best bet. Many people bristle at the thought of having to pay for a service. And you know, we were conditioned that all software just needed to be free. I mean, for so long it was. But if you'll look around, that's going away. The trend is for freemium programs to gradually reduce what they offer in their free plans. It's the reality that's keeping the lights on for software companies. Of course, as a college student, you're used to paying. We know what college tuition these days is, and we know what one textbook alone can cost, more than a year of Evernote. So here's my suggestion. Do you have friends and relatives that are asking you what gifts they can give you to start the new year? What they can do to help you be more successful in college? Well, come right out and tell them that they can help you with a subscription to Evernote. It's something you'll not only use every day throughout your college career, but it's something that you can use long after you've walked across the stage and gotten that diploma. We live in an information age, and the question is, how do you keep up with your information? Folders inside folders inside folders, isn't it? Not anymore. This is not your grandfather's filing cabinet. Your challenge is finding that precise piece of information buried in the middle of a note, possibly buried on page 5 of a PDF inside a document. Invest in yourself. There is a free plan, but think of it as a starter plan. You're limited to 2 devices. Logically, the best would be Evernote Web and the Evernote app for your phone. With a paid plan, you can have Evernote Web, the Evernote desktop software, Evernote on your phone, Evernote on your tablet, Evernote on every device that you have. At present, you're limited to creating 50 notes in one notebook on the free plan. Now, notice I said creating. So if you have a friend who has a free account, you can still share notebooks, and you can be the one who creates the notebooks and creates the notes inside them. But from there, your friend can edit those notes and help you in that partnership. And maybe your friend will see the value of Evernote and wind up being a subscriber. When the new year begins, begin it with the tools that will help you be successful now and in the future. In the body of the blog post, I'm going to include other valuable information. Come over to frankbuck.org and go to the blog. Thanks for stopping by. And if you liked this content, there's plenty more that's just as nuts and bolts. This has been Frank Buck, helping you get organized and make it look easy.